Alright, so Sean O'Malley versus Merab Dvalishvili 2 is going down in like 2 weeks, and I gotta be real with you guys, I wasn't really hyped for this at all. Honestly, I still don't really care for this fight, but knowing how it goes, by the time we hit the week of the fight, I'll probably start feeling it. That's just how the fight week energy goes, you know? But originally, nah, this rematch didn't do anything for me. Two reasons. First, I didn't think Sean really earned an immediate rematch. I mean, let's keep it a buck. Dude got a fast track to the belt, and he only had one real title defense with Chito Vera, then got dominated in his first fight with Morab. So when they announced the rematch, I wasn't thinking, oh, this is the redemption arc for Sean O'Malley. I was thinking, why are we running this back already? Because if you go back to that first fight though, it wasn't even close. Morab didn't just wrestle, he outstruck Sean, smothered him, broke his rhythm, and made him look like a guy who never fought someone that relentless before. He clocked in for violence and just overwhelmed O'Malley with pure pressure. And yeah, the takedowns were a big part of it. Morab stuck to him like glue and racked up a ton of control time. But it wasn't like Sean was lighting him up on the feet either. He got outworked everywhere. So unless Sean made some real change, like not just a new haircut and some feints, I still kind of see the rematch going the same way. And look, I'll admit, for the longest time, I had zero faith in Sean O'Malley coming into this rematch. None. I figured Morab was just going to do what he always does. Chain wrestle him into the mat, drown him with pressure, and coast into another dominant win. And honestly, that still might happen. But here's the thing, we all got stuck in our ways. We all get biased sometimes. We start writing some guys off based on how bad they looked in one fight or how unstoppable the other guy looked in a run. And with Morab, it's not just the pressure anymore. He completely flipped the script in that first fight. He didn't come out wild. He didn't just shoot nonstop like people expected him. He slowed down, changed the rhythm, and fought patiently. And it worked. He threw Sean off before the wrestling even started. And yeah, his striking, it's improving. He's not just winging shots anymore. He's setting things up, using feints, picking his moments, and landing clean. That's what made the first fight rough for Sean. He got beat at his own game before he even had to worry about the takedown. So yeah, I get why people are looking at this rematch and thinking it's going to be more of the same. And honestly, unless Sean made some real measurement adjustments, not just stylistic tweaks, but real answer to the pressure, timing, and grappling, we might be watching a sequel with the same ending, you know? So I'm trying to take a step back and actually give Sean a little more credit here. You see the thumbnail, you know what this is. This isn't a straight copy and paste of their first fight, and that matters because when I went back and rewatched it, there was one thing that stood out big time. Morab didn't follow his usual script. Normally Morab's like a machine, you know, pressure, takedown, suffocate, repeat. You know what you're getting, chaos in motion. But against Sean, he switched it up. No immediate takedowns, no wild blitz. He came out calm, calculated, throwing leg kicks, moving lateral, giving Sean looks that he didn't expect. That alone completely threw Sean off. You can tell O'Malley walked in expecting the usual Morab shoot, shoot, shoot. And when that didn't happen, it caught him in this weird limbo. His reads were off, his rhythm was gone. He looked like a guy waiting for something that never came. And by the time Morab did start mixing in the takedowns, Sean had already lost the control of the pace. And that's the key. Sean had to start pushing forward. He had to become the aggressor. And that's not his comfort zone. He's a sniper. He wants you to walk into his counters. But here, every time he stepped in, Morab was just waiting. The level changes were not desperate. They were baited. He made Sean overextend, and that's when the traps snapped shut. It wasn't just pressure, it was a game plan. And that's what makes this rematch so tricky. If Sean doesn't have a real answer for that kind of adaptability, this can play out the same exact way all over again. And here's the other layer to all this. Sean is not walking in blind this time. He's not expecting some takedown happy version of Morab who's gonna shoot every 10 seconds. Nah. Now he knows. He's seen the reverse Morab, the patient Morab, the guy who can strike, feint, delay the pressure, and play the long game. And that helps Sean at least mentally this time. He's not gonna be shocked again. But that doesn't mean it's easy for Morab either. This rematch brings new problems for him too, especially if Sean stays composed, because stylistically, Sean is still long, rangy, and built to be a sniper. If he fights smart, then that length becomes a real problem for Morab. Not in just terms of distance, but in how it affects the timing of the shots. Morab is used to smothering guys who throw short combos and stand still. Sean's not that. He's gonna move, switch stances, flick out, feint, and fire straight down the pipe. when you're trying to close the gap. And that's where it gets tricky for Merab, because yeah, he looked amazing the first time around, but if he comes in with that same reverse delayed entry style, Sean's gonna expect it now. And if Merab can't surprise him again and can't flip the rhythm like he did in the first fight, then he might find himself eating some shots while trying to reset. Because the blueprint is out there now for both guys, and the one who adapts better, who hides their next move just a little bit longer, that's the guy who's walking out with their hand raised. And another thing I've been thinking about, Sean's got to go to the body in this rematch. Like, for real, that might be the hidden key in this whole fight. That's a pattern with these cardio machine guys like Morab and like Anthony Hernandez. They can push a ridiculous pace for 15 to or 25 minutes, but a lot of them, they don't like getting touched to the gut. You chip at the core and the gas tank, it starts leaking, okay? And we've actually saw a flash of this in their first fight. Sean landed some clean front kicks to the body, nothing wild, but you could see that they got Merab's attention, especially late in that fight. That front kick had some sting on it. It might even hurt him a bit. And yeah, Merab played it off with taunting and whatever, but that's often what guys do when somebody lands clean, but they don't want to show it. Now, I'm sure Merab has been eating body kicks all camp just to prep. He's smart. He's not walking into this rematch unprepared, but that doesn't mean it's not a factor. Body work is an investment. It doesn't need to pay off instantly. It's the kind of tool that shows up in the fourth and the fifth when the muscles are tight, the lungs are burning, and the brain is processing slower. If Sean can stay consistent, keep stabbing with those teeps, mixing in that left to the liver, doesn't get greedy, it can absolutely wear on Merab over time. And if Merab even slows down a little, that's when he starts sniping the head, switching stances, and walking guys into the kill shot. And let me be clear, I don't think Sean's gonna just snap Merab in half. That dude's a mini tank. He's built like a brick. He's tough as hell, and he doesn't fade easily. But still, if Sean's gonna win this fight, it's probably gonna be by finish. That's just how his style works. He's not a 5-rounder grinder. He's a sniper. He needs moments, not minutes. And on the flip side, the only real path for Merab is by decision. He's not knocking out Sean, okay? He's not submitting him. His whole game is pressure, takedown, control, and volume. He's gonna try to drown him for 5 rounds possibly, just like he did the first time. But here's the twist. It's not 2016 anymore. Control doesn't win fights like it used to. The sport is score on damage now. Judges are looking on who's landing the more impactful shots. So even if Sean gets taken down or stuck on the cage for a bit, if he lands the harder strikes, especially to the body, that absolutely counts. That's why Sean can't afford to play it safe. He's got to accept that he's going to get taken down. It's going to happen. But when he gets up, make it count. Stab him with teeps, rip to the ribs, land something clean off the brakes. Those moments add up. Those are the exchanges that flip around. So yeah, it's a risky fight, but Sean doesn't win this by playing it cautious. He wins by making his moments matter. Hurt Merab when you're free, punish the level changes, land clean damage that judges can't ignore. Because if Merab wants a decision, Sean needs to make that path a living hell for him. And if he does, we might be just looking at a real shakeup. However, yet again, I gotta be real here. Even though I generally believe this fight is gonna be way more competitive than the first time, I still can't count out Merab. And honestly, I'm picking him again. I'm rocking with Merab. Because what he did in that first fight, it worked, and not in the usual Merab went berserker mode and broke the guy way, you know. This was calculated, surgical, and smart. He didn't come out spamming takedowns. He didn't give Sean the chaos that he was expecting. He slowed it down, circled, stayed composed, and in doing that, he completely flipped the rhythm of the fight completely, you know. Because Sean's game thrives off rhythm. He wants you walking into his shots, biting on feints. So, dude, Sean's game thrives off rhythm. He wants you walking into the shots, biting on feints, reaching so he can counter. But Merab gave him nothing. He made Sean step forward, he made Sean create openings, and the second Sean overreached or got flat on his feet, boom, level change. Double leg, rinse and repeat. It wasn't just the pressure that shut down Sean. It was the timing and the way Merab dictated the terms of every exchange. Now, yeah, Sean's going to be expecting this version of Merab now, the patient one, the one that's circling around, waits, and picks his entry instead of going full throttle. And you would think that this would give Sean the edge, right? Like I mentioned earlier, like now that he's seen it before, now that he knows that it's coming, he should be ready to make those read and capitalize. But here's the thing, just because you expect it, it doesn't mean you can stop it. Merab's style in that first fight wasn't just effective because it was surprising, it was effective because it was disciplined and well executed. He took away Sean's rhythm, forced him him to lead and control the tempo of the entire fight. That's not something you fix by just watching film. That takes real adjustments, mental, physical, and strategic. Now, don't get it twisted. I do think this will be harder for Merab the second time around. Sean knows what's coming. He's going to be more disciplined, more aware of the setups, and more confident defensively. And if he's able to manage the pace early and stay off the cage, this can start tilting the other way. And here's the wild card that nobody's really talking about. What if neither guy commits early? Like, what if Sean refuses to lead and waits to counter, and Merab, knowing that it worked last time, decides to stay patient again? We can get some staring contest, some hesitancy, and honestly, we might get Izzy versus Yoel Romero 2.0. Two guys trying to bait, but nobody's biting. Round 3 hits, and everyone's on Twitter like, is somebody gonna throw something, you know? But I'm still leaning Merab. Not because I think he'll be dominant again, but because of how well he game planned the first time. The dude outstruck Sean early, messed up his rhythm, timing, and his entries perfectly, and forced Sean into a style that didn't suit him. And unless Sean made huge leaps, not just technical but strategic, I think Merab's gonna edge this yet again. Now Sean's got the tools to make this interesting. He's sharp, he's dangerous, and he's not gonna fall for the same trick twice. But on the flip side, Merab's pressure, his patience, and the way he flips the script last time, that's not easy to deal with. If he keeps the same discipline, keeps forcing Sean to overextend, I think he can edge it out again. It's a high stake fight. Could be a war, could be a chess match, could be a sleeper, but either way, we're gonna find out a lot about both guys. Till then, I'm leaning with Merab, but let's see what happens.